Talking about rich people, not every wealthy person on the planet was born with a silver spoon in their mouth. However, there are some people that have earned their money with talent and hard work. This is precisely the case with these 10 female singers that prove everything is possible. These pop stars have proven that a person's background is nothing but a life fact. They managed to find their way to fame and fortune by overcoming all odds and climbing the social ladder using their own 2 feet. Or, in these ladies' particular case, their voices. Number 10. Jennifer Lopez. No wonder Jennifer Lopez has the reputation of being the hardest working woman in showbiz. She earns approximately $40 million per year, making her one of the wealthiest self-made women in the world. J-Lo is well known for her singing, acting, and dancing career. But the Bronx-born glamorous lady is also a successful entrepreneur, and that's actually the main source of her income. The impressive business portfolio of Jenny from the block includes a clothing line, fragrance collection, skincare brand, and makeup line. And that's not all. The Let's Get Loud singer has many endorsement deals that ensure the star will not live in Bronx again anytime soon. Unlike many of the women on this list, J-Lo does not owe a single penny to any of the men in her life. Moreover, her ex-boyfriend, and also current life partner Ben Affleck, has just $150 million in his bank account. Well, poverty is not a vice even in showbiz, and Miss Lopez proved that love knows no boundaries when she welcomed Affleck back, despite his financial troubles. Talking about earnings and spendings, J-Lo is one of the most generous millionaires. The pop star supports various charities, and even found one with her sister called Lopez Family Foundation. Like most successful girls in the showbiz, the gorgeous-looking star spends tons of money on clothing and beauty products. As an entrepreneur, she invests wisely in real estate. The cheapest mansion J-Lo bought in the past 2 decades cost her $15 million. The rest are well above $20 million each. Jennifer Lopez is also famous for being fond of expensive cars. Nothing that I wouldn't expect from a lady with such a fancy taste. Number 9. Barbra Streisand. I can't think of a more deserving person to have such immense wealth due to her entertainment career than Barbra Streisand. Babs is amongst the highest-selling female recording artists of all time. The astonishing singer has sold a total of 71.5 million albums in the United States alone and 140 million albums worldwide. That success brought her the spectacular $400 million throughout her 6 decades-long career. Not bad for an ordinary girl, if you ask me. Well, an ordinary girl with an angelic voice. Though the money of Mrs. Streisand is due to her marvelous musical gift, she is also quite the savvy investor that trades successfully on the stock market and even manages the investment of her close friends. Fascinating hobby for a showbiz woman. You won't be surprised to hear that the well-known for loving beautiful things Barbara has a massive collection of artworks and antiques. Moreover, her unwavering taste brought her to the $30 million mansion that she calls home. That's far from her most expensive real estate purchase, though. Babs' investment flair led her to buy a California mega mansion for the mind-blowing $100 million. A wise investment, I would say. One could expect some more extravagant purchases by such a high-flown gentlewoman with a taste for life, and Babs does not disappoint. The star loves shopping so much that she built an actual mall in her house. Can you imagine having an entire commercial street in your basement? Well, Streisand not only imagined it, but she made it happen. The star decorated the place with her prized art collection, just so she could feel fancy all the time. That's a whole new level of being a shopaholic. But even that's not the most lavish spending of Miss Streisand. Barbara was so fond of her doggy that when its time came, she couldn't bear the pain and organized it to be cloned. Twice. How ethical this move on her part is, I'll let you decide in the comments below. Number 8. Shania Twain. Shania Twain has one truly inspiring story that deserves a Hollywood movie or at least a Netflix special. The Canadian singer gained worldwide fame and $400 million despite being born in a poor family with marriage problems and finding herself along with her mother in a shelter home. This unfair fate miraculously didn't manage to ruin her life. Instead of succumbing to depression, as many others would, she found inspiration in her hard life and managed to build her own path to success. Her talent and captivating smile were not left unnoticed after she started her professional singing career. Still, it wasn't before her third album, Come On Over, that she became a musical phenomenon, with more than 400 million copies sold. With hard work and dedication, she became the second wealthiest female singer in Canada. Although Miss Twain tries to keep her personal life as private as possible, some details about her properties are already well known. She owns a beautiful cottage in Ontario that was appropriately nicknamed Shania Twain House. Not very imaginative, I must agree, though the cottage part is definitely a stretch. The building resembles much more a palace than an ordinary cottage. The singer also had an amazing house with an ocean view in the Bahamas that has been sold for almost $11 million. If you're a die-hard Shania Twain fan and would like to live in one of her previous properties, the house is for sale again, but unfortunately the price is about $13 million already. I know it's not fair. You've just saved that $11 million and now you have to find another $2 million. Still, you can find solace in the fact that Shania has another astonishing property in New Zealand that costs $21.5 million. But we can't be jealous. Shania definitely deserves the life she's built for herself. Number 7. Victoria Beckham. Posh Spice is another hard-working girl that earned her vast fortune of over $450 million. The star of Victoria ignited with the incredibly successful pop group Spice Girls, and it seems it never went out. Though the girls separated in just a few years, their fame didn't fade away. That is especially true for Victoria, who it seems was destined to be rich and victorious. After marrying David Beckham and moving to America, Miss Beckham refused to be just a retired pop star and a soccer wife that raises her numerous children. Posh Spice put a huge effort into creating a successful clothing brand named after her. Together with the endorsement deals she signed, she managed to overshadow her husband while taking care of 4 kids and looking like a supermodel even after the 4 pregnancies. Thank God she hadn't tried playing soccer, so David can have at least that. Like most pop stars and entrepreneurs, Victoria and her husband invest heavily in real estate. They hold several expensive houses in Great Britain, an ultra-luxurious mansion in France, and of course, one lavish home in the United States. In addition, Victoria can often be seen driving some very expensive cars. The last big spend of the Beckham family was the marvelous wedding of their oldest son, Brooklyn, to Nicola Peltz. The spectacular event that gathered half of the showbiz in the United States cost somewhere between $3 and $4 million. The special surprise for the newlywed from the proud Beckham parents was a vintage Jaguar XK120 with a price tag of $500,000. The 1954 moving jewel has been fully restored, modernized, and electrified. Well, Nicola is a billionaire's daughter herself, so I wouldn't dare to say it was easy for the Beckhams to impress the in-laws, having just several $100 million in the family bank account. Thank God the couple is madly in love with each other, and the poor young Brooklyn is well accepted in the high-profile Peltz family. Number 6. Gloria Estefan. The Latino diva is the most famous Cuban artist of all time. During the 80s and 90s, Gloria Estefan attended almost every dance party worldwide, albeit remotely. She was so popular that she's still among the 100 best-selling artists with more than 130 million albums and global recognition worldwide. Is there anyone that can stand still when conga starts? Gloria Estefan's musical career spread over 4 decades, with 24 album releases and over 40 #1 hits, not to mention the numerous awards. The diva is not famous for being too wasteful and extravagant, but rather for trying to live in privacy with her husband, Emilio. Still, the Estefan family sold a huge mansion in Florida's Venetian Islands for $13.7 million that they previously bought for $1 million in 2000. That's what I call house flipping. The Estefans seem to be big football fans. Both Gloria and her husband bought minority shares of the Miami Dolphins. The team is also in possession of Mark Anthony, Venus Williams, Serena Williams, and Fergie. With such talent behind their back, one could only wonder how the Dolphins can suck so bad. Number 5. Beyoncé. Although Beyoncé is far from being the richest female singer in the world, her purchases are definitely among the most extravagant. Her lifestyle can be the envy of any oil magnate and Arab chic. While Queen Bey's net worth is estimated at around $500 million, she can still get into the Billionaires Club thanks to her husband, Jay-Z. Beyoncé Knowles rose to fame with the Destiny's Child group, but quickly surpassed the band's success with her solo career. Her prosperity is not only due to her incredible voice, but she is also a dancer, songwriter, actress, and businesswoman. Beyoncé earned $60 million just with a Netflix contract for a documentary. She also has her own fragrance line that also brings some decent income. With such countless riches, it is not surprising that she affords some stuff that ordinary people could only dream of, or even not know they exist. Among the endless new expensive clothes, bags, shoes, and jewels, you'd be impressed to hear that she has $311,000 worth of House of Bourgeoisie Contessa stilettos encrusted with 1,310 diamonds. Not bad for a pair of heels. How much do your most expensive shoes cost? Amongst the extravagant Beyoncé and Jay-Z purchases, one can see the $2.5 million diamond-encrusted pacifiers for their 3 children. Hopefully the kids appreciate the overpriced trinket and cried less. The family also owns a private Bahama island. Why share the ultra-luxurious life with the neighbors staring at the diamond baby pacifiers when you can have real privacy? Number 4. Dolly Parton. With a net worth of $600 million, the American singer, songwriter, record producer, actress, and businesswoman is one of the wealthiest women in showbiz of all time. Dolly has countless awards and a reserved place in people's hearts. 60 years of active career has definitely left a mark on modern music. Though Miss Parton has money to buy an ultra-luxurious and modern palace, she seems to genuinely like her 60s-style house that has been her home for decades. Well, of course, the modern house is still a $1 million mansion. It's not known a lot about Dolly's real estate investment, but recently she revealed that she invested her $10 million royalties from Whitney Houston's cover on I Will Always Love You into a black community in Nashville. The biggest affinity of the singer, however, is the classic cars, especially Cadillacs. Her 1997 Cadillac d'Elegance was the star's favorite. Parton kept that car and drove it for over 10 years before it took its rightful place at the Hollywood Stars car collection in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. After making her contribution to the museum, Parton bought a new Cadillac Escalade Hybrid. She also has a Chevrolet Camaro that she loves to drive almost as much as her Cadillac. The star supports a number of charity events. In 2020, Dolly Parton donated $1 million to coronavirus research at Vanderbilt University, which helped fund COVID vaccine development. Number 3. Celine Dion. I can't figure out which one is more impressive, Celine Dion's astounding vocals or her net worth of over $800 million. Unlike others on this list, the Canadian pop star made her money almost entirely due to her remarkable voice. Sure, she does get some pretty pennies from her late husband's record company, but she mostly made it on her own. Celine was not born into a wealthy family and had to share everything with her 13 siblings. At least I can confidently say her childhood was definitely not boring or lonely. Now when that time is gone, Miss Dion can at least afford her own room in her private $29 million palace in Montreal. That's not her only real estate investment though. She owned a fantastic mansion on Jupiter Island for $20 million, which she flipped and eventually sold for an $8 million profit. Although there isn't much flipping needed when your sales pitch is Celine Dion lived here. The Queen of Chansons also has one cheaper house in Cuba, bought for the measly $2 million. If we look at Celine Dion's garage, one can easily break his chin when their jaw hits the floor at the sight of her tremendous car collection. Rolls-Royce Corniche, Mercedes-Benz S-Class, Maybach 62, Audi R8, Bugatti, Chevrolet C4 Corvette. The pop star definitely has a taste for fine vehicles. Dion's prized possession, however, can't be found in the parking lot. She owns a private Bombardier Global Express jet, which has a price tag of around $14 million for the floor model. That is Celine's main companion when traveling around the world. Number 2. Madonna. When Madonna sang Material Girl back in the 80s, she probably couldn't have guessed that just 40 years later, she would be worth $850 million. And with a career like hers, that's hardly a surprise. With 262 awards and over 300 million albums sold, the American pop idol definitely deserves every cent. The Material Girl, however, surely knows how to live large. She spares no expense in acquiring the luxurious life she desires and proves her onstage persona is not that far from her true self. Nonetheless, her more sophisticated side spent around $100 million on art and paintings. That's not her only investment though, as she heavily invests in real estate. She owns 6 prime properties in London, a $9 million mansion in Portugal, a $7 million apartment in New York, and her prized possession, a $23.5 million deluxe duplex overlooking Central Park. That, however, pales both in price and luxury compared to her $32 million ultra-luxurious house. Madonna is a prime car collector with several cars worth more than $100,000. The crown jewel of her garage, however, is a Maybach 62S, worth the mind-blowing $1.4 million. I'm starting to look for dance lessons right away, given her past with backup dancers and the luxurious and frivolous life she leads. Number 1. Rihanna. Is it of bad taste to say that Barbados' most famous export is a billionaire girl who broke the $1 billion threshold before she reached 35? Probably, but Rihanna wouldn't care. It's easy to ignore anyone when you have $1.7 billion ringing in your bank account. The pop superstar is a genuine phenomenon, and she managed to become not only the richest female singer in the world, but also the youngest among the top 10. Naturally, you can't accumulate almost $2 billion with 60 million albums and another 215 million digital tracks sold. Becoming the 16th richest woman in the world takes some entrepreneurial insights and a lot of hard work. The majority of her income is thanks to her luxurious cosmetic Fenty Beauty. In 2020, the company grossed more than $550 million. A year later, the Sauvage X Fenty lingerie line, where Rihanna has a 30% share, reached a net worth of $1 billion. Naturally, Riri, much like any other billionaire, invests in ultra-luxurious homes, where she can shoot her videos and sell them afterward for a huge profit. Over the years, she bought over $75 million worth of property in Beverly Hills and Los Angeles. The pop star also hasn't forgotten her roots, as she owns a $22 million apartment in an ultra-luxurious hotel complex in Barbados. A purchase befitting a national hero of Barbados, I'd say. Rihanna has a flair for cars as well, as she owns several ultra-luxurious vehicles like a Porsche Turbo 99S convertible, a Rolls-Royce, and a $400,000 Maybach. Her prized possession, however, is a $750,000 Lamborghini Aventador. These all may sound expensive, but they pale compared to the Caribbean Queen's most expensive purchase, her wardrobe. Not the furniture, although it's also worth in the tens of thousands. I mean what's inside. Rihanna loves to look good and manages always to be dressed to the nines. That comes at a cost, of course, but who would have guessed that the price is more than $40 million? Yes, the singer's clothes and accessories are one of her biggest assets, and I can completely relate. I wouldn't be caught dead dressed in anything less than $1 million tidy-whities. Beyoncé once asked in a song, Who runs the world? Looking at how these ladies are doing, the answer's quite obvious. So, which of these female pop stars is your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to watch my previous video on the richest athletes in the world. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.